So, Kristen, you've talked about how important it is to help our kids have an understanding of the brain. And in the book, you help them understand like thinking brain and feeling brain. So, why is that distinction helpful for our kids to start to begin to understand about their brain?
Because it fairly accurately describes the two major parts. Now, obviously, a neurologist would say there's a lot more parts, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
But when you're talking about addiction, if you can kind of make it simple, then you have a more primitive part of your brain, the limbic system. We call it the feeling brain. You can, you can also call it the wanting brain. It wants, right? It wants. You're hungry, you're thirsty, you're tired, all these kinds of things that help you survive physically. Um, that's all emanating from this feeling brain. The thinking brain is this prefrontal cortex. That is this front part of your brain that is helping you. That really distinguishes us as humans. We have this very thick, big cortex, and that's where a child grows in the ability to have self-control. Um, that's executive function. Um, that's where you learn your ethics, your morals. You learn what's good, what's bad. That's all kept in that part of the brain. And sometimes I'll talk to kids, I'll say, or youth, I'll say, as a child, every kid steals, right? How many of us have had to take the kid back to the store, you know, put it back, admit you're wrong. I did this with both of my daughters. Kids do things like they hit and they do other things. They pick their nose, right? They do these things. And you have to teach them not to do those things, right? You have to teach them. But that is in the thinking brain, right? Those come in the thinking brain. And so it's so important that the kids kind of have that understanding that they have these two brains. The two brains work together. But if you get an addiction, it's that feeling brain that's taking charge. But the feeling brain doesn't know right from wrong. It just knows what it wants, right? It's like a lion chasing a cheetah, right? It just wants to eat. The lion doesn't like sit around thinking, well, is it really moral and ethical that I go and I kill this cheetah so I can eat? It doesn't do that. So that's why it's important that that thinking brain is developed and in control of the decisions, the decisions about how you treat other people and what you're looking at and what you're bringing into your brain.
As you're talking, Kristen, and you just said it in the last answer too, educate yourself. That I think is such an important piece to discipling our kids sexually is our awareness and our education. Because I've even seen this play out a little bit in our house where because of pure desire groups that I've been through and my own recovery journey being in therapy, I've learned about the brain and how it functions and ways to rewire that brain. That when I get flooded with emotion or I get triggered or I react with my kids, I can say, here's what happened to daddy's brain. This is what's happening. And, I'm really sorry for what I did. There's no excuse for it. But, come back and say, look, this is what happened. Daddy felt this way. And when I feel this way, I tend to react that way. And I don't think about how it could impact other people. And so that conversation with my kids can never happen if I'm not educated on what's happening in my own brain. And it's that modeling, but also that educational piece. And so what I keep hearing you say is that as parents, we have to educate ourselves if we want to use your language, arm our kids with the tools they need to be healthy.
And it is a continual process. And you don't have to sit down and, spend 3 hours every night reading books and whatever.
Medical journals or something like
No,
that, right?
I don't think anyone will do that. This is why I write children's books because um, parents actually learn a lot when they're reading good pictures, bad pictures. They've come to me and said, I didn't know this about the brain. I didn't know that. And actually, even therapists use good pictures, bad pictures for their adult clients because it boils it down. It's so simple. When you're dealing with someone who's struggling with an addiction, you don't want to give them a 500-page tome, and say, read all about addiction, then you will
Yeah.
understand your brain. No, we want it to be simple. And so, yeah, it's so important that we understand and that we keep ourselves educated. So I would really invite everyone to come and download our guide, How to Talk to Kids About Pornography. It's a quick start guide, and it follows those steps. Get the facts, arm your kids, and continue the conversations. We have tips for all of those things and information. And then that will get you subscribed to our newsletter, which comes out just once a week. And we will keep you educated. We just have an article up there that's all about, do kids deserve privacy with their devices? And a lot of parents feel like, oh, I should give them privacy. I should help them, foster independence, blah, blah, blah. No. I mean, there's myths that we debunk in that and help parents understand a better way
Yeah.
to mentor their children as digital co-pilots, right?
I like
So
that.
we really strive. That's really part of our mission, is to, we have this website, Defend Young Minds, and to really put out excellent articles that will help parents. Just drip, drip, drip every week. Just read the article. You are going to become so educated and knowledgeable, and it will really help with your parenting.